When a man cannot express himself, he gets even. And he doesn't always get even in the ways that you think about. Sometimes he just gets even by cutting off the situation. I have been going to therapy for the last 3 years, right? So I've learned that I'm good at communication, logical communication. I wasn't good at emotional communication. And part of maturing is realizing that a lot of men, if they don't feel like they can safely express themselves or talk to someone, they will either get even or cut off a situation. A lot of us, we love drama, right? Well, so we've probably seen things like this online, and everyone has a difference of opinion. I think the most recent one I saw was a man took a girl out on a date, took a woman out on a date. Let me be clear. She ordered three of the most expensive things in the menu. He just watched her. Mind you, he does not know this woman. It's a first date. He ordered one thing. You know what he did? He said, "Hey, I'm going to go use the bathroom." He actually low key went to go pay for his meal and dipped. Now, I know a lot of y'all won't find that respectable, but I like to say I understand. He probably did not feel that he can have a conversation with someone who felt safe enough to do that on a first date, right? And when she texted him, "Where you at?" and he said, "I paid for my meal and I left." She's like, "I don't got the money for this." And you know what that tells me? You would not have been able to reason with her. We've seen posts about man takes his wife out with her friends for her birthday, and all of them is women, females, whatever you want to say. Sorry if that's disrespectful. And they expect him to pay for all their bills, right? Reality of it is, if a man cannot express himself, if he cannot talk about certain things, then he'll just get even. I think my favorite one is a story that Kev on stage read. I don't know if it was last year or something, about a father not being invited to the graduation, right? And Kev, he said something very important. He said it would have been solved if all he did was sat her down and said, "Hey, I'm hurt by what you did," but he ain't do that. He cut her off. He took off all his credit cards. He said if she grown, she could go be adult. He stopped paying for her things. He stopped supporting her completely. "Oh, you ain't want to invite me to your graduation? I guess you grown now. Let your biological father pay for it, right?" Because I think he was a stepdad, even though he raised her since she was like 2. And it's interesting because he could not sit down, even though it's his daughter. So it's a little embarrassment. Yes, it's a little challenging. Yes, he could not sit down and said, "You hurt my feelings." How could you sit down and tell someone that you hurt my feelings as a man and feel like they're going to take you seriously? Right? A lot of y'all say it's easy, but for a lot of us men, it's not easy. Right? "Hey, you hurt my feelings." I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm engaged. Right? Y'all probably hear me say that all the time, at least for the past few months. It took literally over a year for me to sit down and be able to tell this woman, "Hey, I don't like what you said. That made me uncomfortable." And sometimes for me to even get to that point to realize I was uncomfortable, it takes days. Right? Before I would either just be like, "Leave it alone. All right, cool. That's what your thoughts is. Let's not talk about it." Or I would say something to get even. Thank God we still together. I don't know how we made it. Now that I'm looking back at some of these situations, but yeah, like, comment, whatever. Let me know if you want me to dive more into this topic. But yeah, when a man can't express himself, he either cuts you off or gets even.